Hey folks, Jason, Tradesman Outdoor Adventures, out here with the truck, and we're kind of at a lull between upgrade videos and work has been crazy for me. So it is a somewhat rainy mid-April day, and I had tried doing this video some time before, and it never really worked out. So what I wanted to do was take an opportunity, because I'm scouting out some camping places for my boys and I to go out. And I just want to showcase a little bit of what is readily available in the Northern Virginia, DC metro area if you're willing to drive a little bit. I am on the northern end of the George Washington National Forest. And I just want to show off a couple of campsites that I like going to, even just for day trips. They're beautiful. They're generally well maintained. And maybe one off-roading trip. Well, off-roading, pretty easy trail that you can feel like you're getting away. So I would say that these locations, I don't know if they're super well known, but it's a good if you're laying over, driving through the I-81, I-86 corridor west of DC. It's about an hour and a half, 2-hour drive from DC, and you can get out here a bit. You're in national forest land. So it is a Thursday, so I can't say how busy these are all the time. But there's some great little campsites and a little bit of off-roading. Let's see if I can take a video from the truck. Hopefully now that everything is open in the National Forest. So let me walk around a couple of these campsites and just show you what's out there. Maybe encourage you to actually get out and use your rigs if you're not able to. Especially in the DC area, it's hard to find good camping. This isn't like California or Moab or these places. So I just wanted to highlight a couple of my favorite areas to go to. So thanks for joining, and let's get to the sites. All right, so here's the first one, and I will post geocords for all of these. Some of them are already linked on Overland Bound. I will post those links as well. I threw the truck up there just to show that you can get a full-size rig down here. So this is an area southwest of Zepp, not Zed. Zed's not dead. Zed is dead, but this is Zepp, Virginia. And so, again, you're in the National Forest, so there are no reservations, but there's also no cost. And so this is, I think, an example of some of the sites you have here. So you've got a nice pullback area that's relatively level. You can get a couple of rigs in here. Nice fire pit that is not too overgrown with trash. Some people, looks like somebody left a metal grate that I might take with me. But then you have a nice little, especially if you want to bring a tent back here, more tents. You've got an awesome little creek. So I have a 4-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 15-year-old boy in the family, and they would spend hours just playing on this. So again, something to consider if you're looking for camping in the DC area. Again, there's the truck for scale, plenty of room. You are right up against the border of the National Forest. I'm not sure if you can see out there, but there is a house. But there's several of these sites. So let's go take a look at a couple others. All right, here's another one, a little smaller, just a little, maybe 1/10 of a mile further down this road. And you've got another nice creekside campsite. So this one I would say you could, if you want to get really cozy, if your vehicles are smaller, you might be able to get 2 rigs in here. You could just drive over this log depending on the size of your vehicle. This is probably one that's better for tent camping. So if you have like a mixed group, now sadly, some folks have decided to leave some trash. More important, leave your Marlboro cigarettes and whatnot box out here than to keep your campsite clean. So I'll be picking that up. But again, another great little creekside campsite. I can't say enough about this area and just how nice it is. Now there's another spot further down the road I was going to stop at, but somebody's there right now. So we'll keep moving on up the road and show you a couple others. But again, relatively level, especially if you go right here with your truck, vehicle, and another great site. All right, here's another alternative if you're looking to have a big group. So you can see here that there is all kinds of room to host a large group. If I walk over here, you can see there's another fire pit there. I have seen like groups of Boy Scouts out here. I apologize for the dog barking. That the group that I mentioned has some dogs. But there is plenty of room here for multiple rigs. Again, there's my truck for scale. You can get a group out here and have a meet or an overlanding meetup, or just get a bunch of people together, and you'd have plenty of room here. So here I would say is one of the drawbacks of camping, boondocking in the national forest. I'm not sure if you can see out there, but the off-road, air quote, path I wanted to take you on, trail I wanted to take you on, where you could actually maybe limit vehicle traffic, just because it is a little bit rockier. I had assumed that it would be open, given that it's April 20th or so, 21st, and it's not yet. I'm not sure why, but you are kind of at the mercy of some of these trails of forestry rangers and whatnot. Similarly, over here, you can go a little bit back further this way. This typically is used for horseback riding and whatnot. I've seen a lot of people park their trailers right where my truck is parked right now. But there is here what is another pretty awesome site. I'm not going to take the truck down there. I have before, just decided not to do it this time. But if we go down here, this is another one of the bigger sites. And I have taken the truck down here, so it's plenty large enough to get between the trees. But if you look here, I mean, it's pretty well maintained. It looks like somebody left a frying pan on top of the rather large and well-established fire pit, and some trash. So we'll go ahead and take care of that after I'm done filming. But so you do have a nice fire pit, and you've got a nice area to park. Depending on the size of your vehicles, you might be able to squeeze like 2 in here, or ground tents, and then you could have one right here. But again, especially if you have kids, I don't think the fishing's probably amazing, but you've got a nice, maybe a little steep, but nice path down to the creek, which will keep your kids or anything like mine, keep them occupied for days. So even if you don't want to do overlanding or vehicle camping, this is great for Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts. Just take your family out for a tent vacation or tent trip. It does appear, especially if you're for Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts, I was a Cub Scout leader, there's opportunities to pick up trash, because people, although some of this might be too gross for kids to pick up, don't need to pick up toilet paper. So I'm gonna take a little time and fill up a trash bag a little bit more, and this path goes down to the other campsite that I was just across from. You heard the dogs barking, so it's kind of sort of linked. I tried driving down this once. They've put a bunch of stones up down there, so you can't drive the whole way through, but links up to another site. So in summary, here's 3 nice sites. I'm gonna try to see if I can get up the hill a little bit. Up here, up toward the top of that mountain, if you can see in the background, see if they've got that blocked off still too. There's a nice campsite up there as well. So stay tuned. Well, folks, we got skunked again. If you can see back over my shoulder here a little bit, we've got another closed gate. So them's the breaks when it comes to camping in national forest land or any public lands. And I was disappointed, especially with the trail that happens to be down the road that way, on not being able to show you more. But for me, getting out here, and normally you hear a lot of people when it comes to videos saying I apologize for the wind noise. It is a little breezy out here. It's a little rainy. But for me, overlanding, off-road exploring, whatever you want to call it, I mean, we're on a gravel road right now. It's about checking out new places, and for me, it's a little bit of stewardship too. I grew up a Boy Scout. My eldest son was Boy Scout, and we talk a lot about leave no trace, pack in, out what you pack in, leave it better than you found it, and it feels like it becomes a little bit of a hashtag in the overlanding community. For me, and I think a lot of you are probably the same way, need time in nature to kind of recenter. It's a way for me to connect with my faith, and it's something I like sharing with the next generation, my kids especially, and if I can get my wife out here, her too. So sometimes trips like this seem like a bust. I mean, I was not planning on camping overnight. I don't have gear with me to do that. I knew that. This was just I had a couple 3 or 4 hours to get out of the house and plan the next trip. So a couple of lessons maybe that I've learned: scope out where you're going before you go there for the first time. I mean, that seems kind of self-evident, but I've been surprised when I thought things were open, they weren't, and this is the case here. I'm going to check with the ranger station. I wonder if May 1st, a lot of these locked gates open. So they're scoping things out ahead, especially if you bring your family with you. I did not do that my first overlanding trip. That might be another story time. If I could ever get my wife on here, she can regale you with that, with our previous rig Ford excursion. The other thing I would say, so take advantage of nature, take advantage of day trips. It doesn't always have to be a expedition to Alaska. I know that's what gets a lot of us hooked and interested in doing things like this, but that's not always feasible for most of us that work and have families. And I feel sometimes a little sad that I can't do those kind of trips all the time, and a little jealous maybe, and that's not healthy. So some of it is enjoy it when you can, take advantage of the small trips, keep a trash bag with you so you can go kind of keep these spots clean. I know particularly out west this is more of an issue, but it can be an issue here where if we don't keep these things clean, the Park Service may just decide to start closing some of these down. So unfortunately, a lot of the people that like to join us out here don't care about nature and leave a variety of things out here. In fact, a pair of gloves along with a trash bag. I always keep a trash bag with me in the car. To me, that's my way of giving back. And I think we're called to be stewards of this world, and in even a small way, that's a good way to do it. So I apologize for the lack of video content. The truck build has kind of slowed down a little bit. I've got a lot of the small things out of the way, and with work right now being a little crazy, just haven't done much more. I do have kind of a big purchase in work right now. It goes on the back of the truck. The ARE topper did not work out. I kept getting jerked around by ARE. Oh, it's 2 weeks later. It's 2 weeks later. It's 2 weeks later. And I missed a lot of the prime camping that I really wanted to do. So I decided to take my money elsewhere, plus add a little bit more to it. So I'll talk more about that in maybe a future episode. I will probably be doing more things like this, where I kind of look at the Northern Virginia, DC metro area and try to find cool camping sites so people don't feel like they have to go out west or other places. Sometimes if you dig a little bit, you can find things in your own area. I don't think anybody would call the DC metro area or the I-81 corridor like Overlanding Central. There are a lot of Jeep trails if that's your bag. In fact, this might be a good launching point if you want to do Bald Mountain or go down to Harrisonburg and see some of the other kind of well-known, some cheap heritage trails. This might be a good camping spot. And so I'm going to try to document a few more of spots that I've come across, and I have just like exploring and finding spots and marking them in Gaia. Some people may get upset, like, oh, you're broadcasting. These are kind of hidden gems. And there's obviously two schools of thought on that. I would rather them be used responsibly, and I'd rather a lot of the vehicles that I see driving around that are all kitted out, that don't appear to be out in the dirt much, to get out in the dirt a little bit more. And this is gravel road. You could take your Camry, maybe down, with the exception of getting down some of the trails and some of the sites I showed you. This is not heavy duty. You don't need traction boards to get out here. And that's the most important thing. It's getting out, especially with your family. If you got a significant other, just get out and enjoy nature. Even days like this where it's not maybe the most picturesque. For me, this is just the ultimate kind of relaxation, recentering. So I apologize if Ram, Power Wagon, heavy duty truck videos are more your bag. Those will come. But for me, this is also documenting stuff for my kids, my family, to kind of show the journey, because hopefully they'll start to see themselves on some of these videos in the coming months and years. So more truck content to come. Thank you to those 71 subscribers I've got right now. Thank you very much for hanging with the channel. I hope to give more content. If there's different things that you want to see, I will do my best to oblige. And stay tuned for more updates on what I have planned for the truck. Until then, get outdoors. I don't care if it's for a day trip, for a couple of hours. Bring a trash bag, bring a pair of gloves, and just get out there, enjoy nature, be a good steward, and have fun. I hope you're having a wonderful spring. I pray for fun times and safe travels for all of you. Talk to you soon.